Hey guys, this is Brian. You're listening to Death Squad. This podcast and all the podcasts we do at Death Squad can always be found on our website, deathsquad.tv, on iTunes and Stitcher under Death Squad. Don't forget the Death Squad t-shirt. The limited edition Death Squad t-shirt is on sale right now. Go to shopsquad.tv. There you'll have the t-shirt. Women's sizes are on sale right now, so if you're a lady, you can get it cheaper than, I think it's $4 or $5 cheaper than it was. Also, we have stickers. We have the first edition stickers still hanging on by a thread, and the second edition stickers. These items, all of them, are limited edition. None of them, no more, are being made after this last round of shirts. It's gone forever. So keep on checking back at shopsquad.tv. If your size is out of stock in the next couple weeks, these are going to be refilled with the last remaining stock that we have in inventory. And then it's gone forever. Also, if you want to go to a live Death Squad show, check out our showtimes. Our showtimes. Yeah, I guess it's showtimes. Our shows. How about that? Our shows. We have them at deathsquad.tv. And we also have a way to help us out. If you click on the big shop button on the right side, that will open up Amazon like normal, but anytime you make a purchase using that link, we get a few pennies every time you spend $1. So, thanks for listening, guys. Here's a
in Pasadena, California for a new episode of Muff Said. Here's your host, the very sexy Ryan Keely.
Welcome, everyone. It's a very exciting week, and we are on a new day today, this week, on Wednesday, and next week we will also be Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. So be prepared for that excitingness.
Did not like that opening song.
You don't like that opening song?
No.
Wasn't gay enough?
It wasn't gay enough?
Well, it just didn't.
There's laser sounds.
Yeah, I guess.
Well,
so.
Just give it a chance.
Was that Astro?
That was Astro. Pew 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 pew.
I wanted to listen to some AKB48 because they've been in the news this week, but their videos are terrible with the sound on. And I thought of you, Brian Redban, because AKB48 is the biggest girl band in the world. They have 88 members, and it's all young Japanese girls from like, I don't know, like 13 to 23.
What's the name of them?
AKB48.
Great for marketing.
Wait, is that the
head shaving one?
the girl that, the Britney...
So just stepping on the mic right now is Rick Malambri, who you may know from Step Up 3. He's also a hardcore gamer and a former Abercrombie model. I think are the most attractive person that's ever been in the studio.
Hey!
Except
Brian Redban doesn't like that.
Yeah. So that's who's there. And of course, we have Nick Ahrens,
Sup.
Mr. Robot Pants.
I just want to say sup all night. Sup.
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 So Nick and Rick are... apparently, you guys have stabbed each other a lot.
Many times. In fact, we've devoted probably hours to stabbing each other.
Smoke grenades.
Smoke grenades,
This
stabs.
sounds really sexy.
Trophy
It's
systems.
really sexy, actually.
Is this like the Open Fist Theater?
It is like the Open Fist Theater in Hollywood, California. What does the Open Fist Theater even do? Like, is it like what kind of shows do they have?
Not what you would think.
No, obviously, apparently not. I think we would know about it already.
Are you guys talking about, like, what do you... Wait, stabbing?
I have no idea.
Is that like pegging?
No, we're talking about video games.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
This is a Call of Duty bromance. It's finally happening in real life.
It's a Call of Duty bromance happening in real life.
Finally meeting in real life.
You guys have spent hours online together. Do you guys talk on the headsets?
Yeah.
We do. It's mostly laughing, actually. It's very little real conversation happens after a certain point.
So basically, we have a bunch of friends that get together and we play this thing called Thunderdome.
Which was mentioned last week.
It was with Bo.
Ryan, yeah.
Yeah. And, I mean, I don't know if you guys went to the full extent on what it is.
Yeah, it's a real quick recap. There's a level in the new Call of Duty that's like this weird, like, pillar, like, nuclear reactor room. And it's, like, dripping and kind of steamy, and there's 3 entrances.
You're not making this sound less gay.
It's gonna get even gayer in a second because we don't shoot at each other until we get in there. And once you're in there, you can only use knives. and smoke grenades, and it's basically just insanity where we run around and somebody will just pop out of the smoke and stab you in the face and start laughing over the headset and wash, rinse, repeat, I guess.
And somebody pegged it
Thunderdome. Yeah, I think somebody thought it was
I don't know.
Wasn't it you?
No, it was not.
Wasn't you? Okay.
No,
then
I think it was
remember.
Randall. Or who was it?
It was
This sounds very sexy.
David? I don't know.
I don't know
Somebody
who it was.
was in
I don't
there.
know who it was. Yeah.
Back to young Japanese girls.
Anyways, back to the young Japanese
Right.
ladies.
Have you managed to look them up yet, Redban?
Oh yeah, I'm looking at him right now.
One question: has it moved?
Huh?
Well, there you go. Baby,
Oh, that's her. That's
baby.
the one that shaved her head, right?
Yeah. So this girl. Well, actually, I can't tell them apart.
Oh.
Well,
Because
so-
all musicians look the same,
All
right?
musicians
Yeah,
do look the
exactly.
same.
Look at all these sweet tight pussies running towards me.
some of them are underage.
Oh, I gotta hear what they're singing.
Right now, the listeners have like no reference for what's happening.
Oh, I bet they can think of what's happening right now.
Pool party.
So AKB, like, I was really blown away with this concept. So I looked them up on the Wikipedia after I found out. So one of the girls in the band shaved their head, which is a traditional sign of contriteness in Japanese culture, because she committed the crime of having a boyfriend when she's like 20 years old. And one of the things about being
Heinous crime.
in this band, this girl group, is that you cannot have a boyfriend.
You can't date at all, right?
Cannot
Is that
date
the
at all.
rule?
And
Really?
the thing about there's 88 girls in the band, and they're all split up into different groups. And the whole concept comes from idols you can meet.
She's on the screen right now crying, and she shaved her head. She looks like an alien.
I love you, Brittany. And so they actually, there's one show a day in I can't say it.
Akihabara.
Yes, thank you, Akihabara.
I've been there, it's cool.
But they're like the only band in the world that they can be performing in 3 different countries on the same day.
Blue Man Group also, I think, is like the only other one.
Yeah.
But they're a little bit different.
Yeah.
Just a little bit different.
Just a little more sexy. Yeah.
I blew myself.
So the band made her shave her head?
No, like she did it as like, I fucked up for dating.
Wow.
Like going on a date with a guy, I have shaved my head and show my shame to the internet.
Yeah, and it's I don't this. What blows me more about like I don't mind that this young girl shaved her head. In fact, I think that's just it's a contractual requirement. She broke her contract and
Wait, is that in the contract that they have to shave their head?
not that they have to shave their head.
Oh, I was gonna say,
No, that's how
Jesus.
she's apologizing.
Okay.
But what it did is that it got me looking at J-pop videos pretty much for most of my day today, and I really like them with the sound off.
K-pop's better. I know we've talked about this on the air a few times, but K-pop's better. Definitely.
I fully concur.
K-pop is a shit.
It's like J-pop, but they're all adults.
Right.
It's a lot sexier.
Who's your favorite K-pop band? Rick Malambri.
I can't pronounce them.
Am I saying your name right?
Malambri.
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 Is that
Sup.
What's up?
This podcast is off to a slow start. I went to Titmouse today to get a sneak peek of the new Grimm Fairy Tales, which is being directed by John Schnepp, who's been on this podcast and who you know as the director of Metalocalypse. Mm-hmm. It looks amazing.
Yes.
It really looks amazing. From what I understand is that people that are at WonderCon, John Schnepp will be there, and you'll probably get access to see that. The Titmouse people are also kind enough to give us all coloring books and crayons.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah.
Freaking love
Mr. T is on the cover, and a cat wearing a fucking helmet? What? This is the best gift I've ever received. Sorry, Grandma.
So that's all compliments of Titmouse Inc. And next week, John Schnepp will be coming on the podcast with his craziness.
I gotta say, Titmouse is just full of talent. Like
So much talent.
They've hired a couple artists that I know personally just from working in the LA gallery scene, and they're just all just really amazing people that like they'll work on one thing, but the artists working on like a show and drawing a show are 10 times more talented than you even see on the shows. Like they can do anything they want. It's insane.
It's really amazing. John's working on a bunch of new stuff. Of course, we'll get more in depth to that next week. But one thing is called the ABCs of Death, which is so good. It's so good. And then he's got a Kickstarter that's just started called Superman Lives.
This looks amazing.
Yeah, it's the movie. It's the story about the movie that never got made. Which was,
The Nicolas Cage Superman movie.
Kevin
So-
Smith one?
The Kevin Smith one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you go to Kickstarter, you can check that out. They're at $60,000. They need like another $18,000, but it looks amazing. It's a feature-length documentary.
If you have never heard of this is like, it's a Superman movie, but it's like insanity.
Yeah.
And Tim Burton was going to direct it. Kevin Smith wrote it.
Starring Nick Cage.
And there's photos of Nick Cage in the costume, like, and he just looks like a complete idiot the way wearing it. And there's even like this like crazy like seashell like rainbow version that they were going to wear, and like it's insane. Go check it out. Support the Kickstarter. It looks amazing.
It's pretty awesome.
It's called Superman Lives. Is that what?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go to Kickstarter. You can find it. Speaking of rainbows and shit,
Why'd you look right at me when you said that?
Because you're going to appreciate this.
Okay, great.
This is going to rock your socks. So I went to something at the Griffin Observatory last week. It's called, what is it called? It's the first Friday of every month. It's at the Griffith Observatory here in Los Angeles.
Greatest place in the city.
Yeah, it's amazing. And first Friday of every month, they have a forum where it's the 4 of the top scientists that work there sit down and explain to you everything that's been discovered in science in the last month.
Oh, I have to go to that.
And in
every
the world
Friday.
we live in, that is so much
stuff.
stuff.
I like that a lot.
But I discovered
Science.
there's this thing called rainbow clouds. And the best thing about rainbow clouds is that they're basically made by methane, so they're pretty much a byproduct of cow farts.
Yeah, they're fart air. Nice, fart clouds.
And what they do is that it raises up to the upper atmosphere, and then it freezes into ice crystals, and then when the sunlight like refracts through it, you see rainbows, and there's giant rainbow clouds.
You learned this while you were there?
I did learn that.
How many
while I was
people
there.
kept raising their hand going, but these are fart clouds, right?
Can we do that?
I bet we all contribute to these clouds in a little way, in our own little way. When you see that cloud in the sky, you're like, I did that.
I think you're right.
I did that. Last night's dinner at Umami Burger helped me work on that. It's like crowdsourcing clouds. I love it. I really like that a lot.
Rainbow clouds, not just any clouds.
Rainbow clouds. A fart cloud would be a rainbow
I'm just
cloud.
going to call them fart clouds.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, if anyone has a picture of a rainbow cloud, please tweet them at me. That's at Ryan Keely, RyanKeely. Hashtag Muff Said, because I haven't seen them in real livesies yet. I just saw their examples.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. I want to believe it, but I'll believe it when I see it.
It's a real thing. They're scientists. They told me this.
It's science.
And also, they found illuminated black holes, not just regular black holes, but black holes with light that comes out of them. And they also found the largest structure in the universe. So,
Which is?
I forget. It's giant.
Is the monolith?
There was so much science being crammed into your brain in this 2-hour period that
God, I would probably
It
weep.
sounds awesome.
I bet I would weep at this. I would
Probably
quietly weep in the corner. I'm going to go every Friday. I don't need a life.
It's not
I'm just
every
going to do
Friday.
this.
It's the first
Our
Friday.
first Friday.
First
First
Friday.
Friday.
of-
I wish it was every Friday.
Yeah. It was amazing. And I learned a million new things. And it was so much being crammed in your brain, you just couldn't absorb it all. But I took away fart clouds. That was my takeaway.
As it should be. As it should be. We discovered a new kind of black hole. More about the fart clouds. More about the fart clouds. So they're rainbow.
It's very true. But speaking of very cool science stuff, last week we didn't get a chance to get into inner ear implants, which is something that you really want to talk about, Nick.
Yeah, and I want to stack another one onto that. Cyborg eye implants are now a real thing. So I read these kind of science journals online once in a while because I love them. And they're now working on, things like hearing aids and eyeball aids, if you will. But the idea is instead of wearing something like a pair of glasses that helps your vision, let's just replace the whole eye. We're finally at that point where let's replace the whole eye. Let's replace the inner ear. So now they have hearing aids that you can get inside your ear that they've created that work like a traditional hearing aid, but it's permanently embedded in your ear forever. So you could essentially, I think theoretically, that they could probably make them so you could just enhance your hearing in general. Hey, I want better than normal hearing. I don't want anyone to know, so I'm gonna go get this procedure done. So this is the age where we're finally at kind of cyborg augmentations,
Right,
and no one's really kind of getting that yet, which is amazing.
There is some other stuff. I mean, the Google Glasses are now.
Oh, the heads up stuff.
Oh yeah. So the application that they submitted reveals that the glasses will have Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and also the filing also discusses the filing that they submitted. I I think to the patent office, discusses that a vibrating element that feeds you sound through a contact with your head, which could be some sort of bone conducting piece.
Yeah, bone. That was a big thing at CES this year, right?
Part of the, which is actually a big part of those implants.
The ear implants, yeah. Bone conduction headphones are like a big thing now too, where you just put like these little things on. Brian is laughing.
I don't like even the idea of these headphones.
Oh, I thought you were laughing because it was called bone conduction.
No,
okay.
It just sounds like the technology. It creeps me out.
But yeah, it's essentially vibrating your skull.
Yeah, we're basically talking about replacing parts of your anatomy.
Yeah,
with biomechanics.
Well, I think the idea is always that it's like for people who need it. Like, I can't hear anymore. I'll get my new eardrums put in.
Right, but they basically have these like legs. Say you're missing a part of your limb. They replace it with not only just a brace, but something that it attaches to your nerve system, and you're able to move. Like you can close your hand, you can open your hand, you can grab stuff, you can move it. It's crazy.
Ryan's been doing this for a while. She's been getting new dick almost weekly, though.
I could see that you wanted to do that one. But yeah, it's interesting though because just growing up as a big nerd and reading a lot of science fiction and like body augmentations and all that kind of stuff, especially after just reading through Transmetropolitan, which we've talked about on the air many times. It's crazy to see when you read about it like in a comic or see it in a movie. It's very hyper stylized, so you're like, man, that's like crazy, but it'd be really cool. But you often forget that they're super close to this stuff or already there in real life.
Right.
Like even the Google Glasses stuff is super cool, but there's another company that's already come up with a contact lens that has a heads-up display built into it. So they want to bypass the glasses altogether.
Which I think is smart.
Which not like the only problem I think is like you probably can't put like a little transmitter yet in a contact lens, like Bluetooth, like little like box next to your eyeball or something like that.
Well,
but
my concern as a contact wearer is that will the contacts also correct my vision?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's the idea. Mm-hmm. I would wear the Google Glasses. Yeah,
I don't know.
I love the future.
Scary.
Yeah.
Have you ever read Snow Crash?
No.
You should read Snow Crash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if you live in the Snow Crash is an
Gargoyles.
awesome book, but if you live in Los Angeles, it's even better because it takes place here, and you kind of like all the locations in Los Angeles are very called out, even like the ghettos and like the rich areas and the valley and all that kind of stuff. Okay. But it definitely deals with like augmentations and virtual reality and all that kind of stuff.
So I spent some time on like augmentation websites this afternoon when I just realized that we were going to have to talk about Google Glasses because that's just so cool.
Right.
And I ended up on this site called Boyd Futurist. It's on the WordPress. And I found out there is pretty much the coolest game of all time, the Star Wars Science Force Trainer. It's $42.95 on Amazon Prime right now. And utilizing a dry EEG sensor technology, the headset reads and interprets your brain waves. The deeper you concentrate in mental focus, the greater your ability to move the training remote up or down the training tower. Progress from Padawan to Jedi Master as you master the use of the Force through 15 levels of training.
Keep going.
Do you want me to use the sexy voice?
Please. Please.
Increasingly challenging sequences are aided by training cues and instructions from the master of all Jedi Masters himself, Yoda. Additional Star Wars sounds effect confirm accomplishment and provide encouragement throughout your training. Advancement and current level of your training is displayed on the training tower control panel. Yeah.
Oh, man.
And it takes 3 AA batteries, not included.
Of course. Ask your parents for permission.
But can we see if we can we get a
What's
video
it called?
of that? It is called the Star Wars Science Force Trainer.
No, is this real or is this just using like
it's
your...
on Amazon.
Right. I think it's probably using just like if it feels your right side of your head move, it might...
Okay, so
You know
now
what
we
I
need
mean?
to research what actually an
Star
EE...
Wars Science Trainer?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to do a little Vine post for the show, but I've never actually used it, so it wants me to tutorial, and I just fucked it all up. I'm sorry. But Vine is
really cool.
Vine is the new hotness on the internet.
I still haven't played with it. I downloaded it, I signed in, and then I look at the tutorial, and I'm like, oh, I'm already bored.
So many people are doing stop motion animation with it.
I know. It's actually, there's a lot of cool stuff happening.
Ever.
You're going to convince me to get on it right now.
Yeah. There's this thing that's happening now where Vine Wars. Have you seen this? Where people they create videos, have battles back and forth.
No.
The network's been out for 2 days or something like that, 2 weeks.
I just
picked
it up the other day.
And now people are the new trend on Vine is to have Vine Wars. I'll see your cute kitten and raise you a cute dog.
Okay, I haven't seen that, but yeah.
Puppy Bowl.
Puppy Bowl, exactly.
Puppy Bowl.
Yeah.
The big talk of the weekend. Let's be honest.
Next year I'm there.
Me too. 50-yard line. You want to go?
Yeah,
we go.
get
some beer. Get some
Front row
nachos.
seats.
Yeah, I'm in.
Nick Ahrens.
I'm rooting
Rick
for the
Malambri.
Here's a scene from the Puppy Bowl.
2013.
Back to either by a phone number, or fax number, or address. And if you have some way like that for me to get, whoops.
Oh no! What is this?
I like all the doggy's tongue.
Goes on for about 5 minutes. If you don't know what that is, it's just a disturbing video on Live Leak this week called "What the Fuck? This Sure Isn't Animal Planet," and it's this jerk that just put every single animal known to man on one small little table. And
Jesus.
There's what you just heard right there is a turtle attached to a dog and it won't let go. And then there's monkeys eating parrots and stuff like that. I mean, it's ridiculous that this was even on TV at some point.
No,
but
that's the Thunderdome.
Yeah,
That's the Thunderdome right there. Turtles versus dogs. I would watch that. I would pay good money to see that.
Yeah.
Or the turtle races here in LA. Popular thing. I know you want to talk about this.
I haven't been. I want to go and.
Oh yeah, and
my suggested date is refusing.
That's BS.
Hands down refusing because apparently it's really fratty. And I
So what? Who cares?
Go to the turtle races.
Turtle races.
You can't.
It's at a shitty bar. It's not too Friday.
Listen, you can't judge something whether it's Friday or not. Or I would never go to Buffalo Wild Wings, but I go all the time. I go all the time.
I'm a big fan of mechanical bulls, which are normally pretty fratty, but they're awesome.
Do you ride? What's the one in Hollywood?
I will not go. I will
Saddle
not
Ranch,
go to
yeah.
Saddle Ranch. However,
Because they're operators. I know one of their previous operators, and they purposely fling people off. They can control it where they can just knock people right off.
Oh, yeah.
When I lived in New York, that's when me and Johnny Utahs were very friendly. That's actually where I had I'm moving out of New York goodbye party.
Oh.
So I was able to get a table with 2 bottles of vodka and 1 bottle of champagne for $500.
That's a good deal.
It's a really good deal.
Yeah. And you partied, and you got thrown off of a bull?
Oh, yes. I take my bull riding very seriously.
Injury?
No, they've got the fluffy thing. But the best part about it is that Johnny Utah's, it's on 42nd Street, and it's pretty much the only bar that's in that neighborhood because it's right next to Rockefeller Center. It's a totally awkward
Oh, yeah,
neighborhood
that's
after
not a bar
9
neighborhood
p.m.
at all.
So it's the most random crowd. So it's
Suits
finance guys
yeah.
and then bachelorette parties and then a lot of chicks from Harlem. And the best part is the ethnic ladies, frequently of larger size, their favorite thing to do is to get up on the bull and do a sexy show.
Nice.
And it's amazing.
I want to see that. That sounds incredible.
And speaking of Abercrombie models, since Rick Malambri's in the studio, there was a couple of Abercrombie models that were famous because whenever they were in town for Fashion Week, all of Fashion Week, every single night that they would go out and ride the bulls with their shirts off, which is how I heard about it.
Right. And which is why you started going, right?
They never showed up when I was there, but my girlfriend.
But you went every night in hopes.
Yes.
For a year straight.
It's gonna happen.
That's
Someday.
actually how they cast them.
They just go to bull riding bars and they're yeah, you, not you.
How did you end up working for Abercrombie?
I was living in Miami and I got picked up for modeling there, and then I just did an audition for
Were you
Abercrombie.
approached on the street?
Mm-hmm.
That's a thing.
It is. It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Total street
I actually
discovery.
moved, which is weird because I moved down there for computer animation. I went to school for computer animation, and I was down there looking for a job, and I'm just on Ocean Drive and walking with some friends, and this agent approaches me. It's the weirdest thing because I had no idea what the hell modeling was at that time, besides seeing people, women.
Were you
on
a total nerd?
Yes.
He's going to school for computer modeling. So
Computer modeling.
yeah.
At least it was a drive.
That's the modeling I know of
Yeah.
at the time. But it was the weirdest thing that she just came up and said, "You should do this. You want to make some money?" And I said, "Okay, sure. Let's tell me what it's about." And she hooked me up with a photographer. We took photos, and then next thing led to another. I was booking jobs and traveling. I was in Italy. I lived there for a year and a half. And
Wow.
Did you have to get super skinny?
no, I was already skinny.
At least you
Did you
met
have to
her.
get ripped?
At least you met her on a
No.
drive and not an alley.
But the funny thing, the funny thing is, because I grew up breakdancing as a hobby, that's how I got Step Up. That was my working out. So I just stayed in shape from breakdancing. But
So you just had your normal lifestyle, and it just worked out.
yeah, it kind of threw me off because I kind of wanted to be. I was a nerd. I wanted to create games. I wanted to create art, and this was another kind of art, but it was a different kind of, out of my spectrum of what I
Right.
wanted to do, and it just kind of fell into place. And then I was in New York and got approached again for acting, and I moved to LA, and that's how I became an actor.
Nice.
It's weird. It's kind of it's one of those stories that you hear that's like, really, but it really happens.
I it's funny because I know a lot of actor stories. A lot of them do start out in places like theater and stuff like that. But you really had no intention. You wanted to go and sit in front of a computer and basically do what I do all day and make that kind of stuff.
I
So
did.
You had that was never an idea of yours.
No,
of like
but
acting
I
and
actually
modeling.
fell in love with it once.
That's awesome.
With acting and getting into classes and stuff. It was something. It was still a part of me as an artist because I'm still creating art. I'm still as an actor. You're always and it's more of a living, breathing kind of art. I feel than still art.
Right.
So, but I still have that passion. I'm working on my own animated series and stuff like that. So
Which we're very excited for.
Yeah.
As soon as you can show me stuff.
I will. I'll come back on and we'll show.
Oh,
some
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very
That's
excited.
awesome.
That'll
Yeah.
happen.
And you clearly have not dropped any of your nerd passions.
No, not at all.
Because
Not
it's you're building your own computers and you're playing
Yeah.
games a lot and
Do you code?
I don't. I don't. I do HTML. That's about it for coding. As in programming, not so much. I built my first computer when I was 13. It was a 386DX.
nice,
Old school.
nice.
Me too.
Yeah.
Like a Voodoo 2 card in there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, yeah.
You're like eventually,
Eventually. Yeah. But it's just always been a part of me. I was a kid that was kind of timid in high school, but try to get dab into everything.
What are you gaming on now?
It's funny because I've been playing a lot of Ni no Kuni on PS3, and I don't ever.
Oh,
I literally dusted off my PS3 a week ago to start this game, and I've been nuts about it. That's all I've been playing.
it's beautiful.
And then I've been playing a lot of PC games.
That's the game that Bo Ryan was talking about last week.
yeah,
yes.
the Studio
Yeah.
Ghibli game.
Yeah. Which is beautiful.
Are you still playing games like Hawken? I don't know if you continued with that
I
or
do.
not.
I play Hawken every once in a while. I play Blacklight Retribution. What else am I playing?
Call of
A lot
Duty.
of Call of Duty.
Yep.
Yeah.
Call of Duty.
But
You play some Borderlands, stuff like that.
you know what? I love Borderlands, don't get me wrong, but I absolutely loved the first one. And the second one, I played it for a little bit, and then I was just like, eh.
It wasn't the
Kind
same.
of the same. No,
Or
it's
it felt
just
too much the same?
It felt too
Yeah.
much the same. Like I feel like I'm doing the same stuff over and over again, and it just kind of I felt that like there were other things that I wanted to do.
Right.
Than play
No,
Borderlands.
I felt like there was kind of that split divide with Borderlands because the first one was so cool because it was really groundbreaking for a console game to be like to embrace that kind of hardcore video game RPG like mindset, but then mix it with like a hardcore shooter, and they
Right.
really nailed it. Like
Yeah.
the first one, I probably put 50 hours into that. And then I actually haven't even played the second one, which is I'm probably going to get some hate mail for because I'm a pretty hardcore gamer myself. But like I was really interested in it, but just not enough to not play the other games I was playing, like Far Cry 3 or trying out Assassin's Creed 3 or Skyrim, even with the new content that came out. So
Right.
it was like I kind of had the same reaction where it's like it looks good, but it looks like the same good,
Yeah.
the same exact good.
And my wife and I, we play a lot of co-op games together.
Let's take a moment to talk about your really spectacular wife. So I approached Rick on Twitter about coming on the show. Oh, was it last week, right after Bo come on?
Yeah.
Yeah, so after Bo came on, I was like, and we set it up, and then we happened to be at the same Super Bowl party.
Mm-hmm.
And you were there with your wife, who's a model and a hardcore gamer.
Model hardcore gamer, host actress. Yeah, she's everything, and she's awesome.
Yeah, people can watch her games on Twitch.
Yes. Twitch TV / I am Lucy May.
I am Lucy May. Yeah, she's really amazing. I actually am kind of out of words because she stunned me. She's spectacular. How
She's
did you guys
really
meet?
good.
Yeah.
She's really good, by the way. She's really good.
She's better than I am.
She's better than I am, too.
But we met on a job in Minneapolis.
So you guys were
Good
both
city.
model-
Good city. PLS represent. What's up, Midwest? Okay, keep going.
It's funny because we had lived here in LA for almost a year before we and with practically the same agencies, and we'd never run into each other until we went to this job in Minneapolis. It was a job that we were there for a whole week with a bunch of other friends, models, and we just hit it off, and it was
Sweet
set.
geek love.
Yes.
Sweet love. What was the job
Geek
in
love
Minneapolis?
is not like the
It was
book.
for Macy's. It was a big,
Oh, nice.
big job they put on called Glamorama. And,
Glamorama.
Yeah.
Wow.
Glamorama.
Isn't that the Bret Easton Ellis book?
I was going to change my Twitter name to that.
I'm pretty sure it is. It's one of my. I love Bret Easton. No, that's Glamorama.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's a huge production. Like last year, they had Bruno Mars perform. Like they get a bunch of amazing artists together, and
And it's always in Minneapolis? Or is it?
it's in
How do
Minneapolis
you not
and
know
then
about
Chicago,
this, Rick
and then
Ahrens?
I don't know. I don't know if you can tell by looking at me, but I'm not exactly the fit model for fashion. So
But
I probably
you are the Minneapolis type.
I am the Minneapolis represent motherfucker. I'll move back there and have
Soon
my
as you
kingdom
find
someday.
A nice lady.
Yeah,
Yeah. you
from
want-
also from Minneapolis.
You're like, I want to find a lovely lady. Just
I
take
can't
her
wait
to
to
Minneapolis.
Yeah, and then one winter later she'll be like, "We're moving."
I'm leaving you.
Yeah, I'm leaving you for the warmth.
So we haven't spoke of our beers because they were warm earlier, and now their second round is slightly less warm. This is actually one of my favorite beers, and I just feel like the temperature is not showing it accurately, and I'm very upset about it. And I think that it was the contents were a little too much under pressure, so it wasn't carbonated enough.
Well, we can bitch at Bevmo again because we did last week. You need to start cooling down your beer.
They
Seriously.
do. They have a massive beer selection. They only have like the shitty, non-interesting stuff in the freezer.
Yeah,
the rest are on
that's
shelves,
bullshit.
right?
It's
Yeah, the
weird.
good stuff's on
That's
the
because
shelf.
we need to bust in. You need to get a 50-pack of Natty Light and get back for the game. That's why.
Well, the thing is, they just need to get one of those one of those bottle coolers in the front of the store. And why don't they have one?
Exactly.
Yeah, Bevmo. I need a representative to contact
they need to build
me.
one of those big ass walk-in fridges.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be rad.
Like Costco.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then just put the beer in there.
I would spend my hundreds of dollars on booze there then. But instead, 2 weekends ago, I spent it at Ralph's.
Why don't
Because
we should open a Bev More.
Yeah.
all right, I like this. Bev
Good
more.
idea.
And then you could
And
have all the alcohol that's supposed to be cold will be cold, and there'll be candy.
No, fuck it. We just make a huge store that's a big fridge.
Yeah. A humongous
You
fridge.
just walk into the fridge.
You get like a complimentary jacket to wear while you're in the store, and you can go
Exactly.
browse. I like that idea.
I would like that if the employees were like Swedish models, and they
Agreed.
wore bikinis with fur coats.
I would choose Asian, but I like what you're going for.
Did you hear about? They now have shoe warmers. There's now insoles for your shoes. You put in your shoesies, and you can charge them. They have a 10-hour charge, and they have a remote to turn them on and off, like a tiny little remote, so you can warm your feetsies without having to touch your feetsies.
Man, when I was growing up, we put our shoes on the space heater and hope they didn't start on fire.
Right.
So it's making me feel a little
These
old.
days,
Also, I'm going to buy that product. Let's be honest.
yeah, Minneapolis.
Is there an app? Is there an app?
Is
like,
there an
like
app for that?
And when I wake up in the morning, like I'll check, theverge.com, and then I'll warm my shoes up and get ready to leave.
You
That's
can
what I
control
want.
the temperature from
Exactly.
Your iPad
I'm
or
thinking
your iPhone.
68 for the day.
I don't know. I just heard about it. And it sounds really exciting. But I live in LA, so I really don't have a reason to have my feet warmed.
People in LA are still cold. Doesn't matter where you live.
Yeah.
People still get cold. It gets like 48 here, and they're like, I'm not going outside. It's just terrible outside. It's just the worst thing I've ever encountered. There was frost on my window. What
this
is
morning.
frost?
Even this morning, it was hard for me to get out of bed. It was
That's because
cold.
you have a hot model gamer wife.
That's true. That is true.
And that's because you said morning and not afternoon.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, God, it's 7 a.m. I'm going to go back to sleep.
At about noon, I'm like, okay, damn it.
I got to be thankful for the game industry starting at 10. standard hours, and I say 10 with quotes. 10. I've been working in games since I was 20 years old, and I've never once had a strict be in by this time rule because the industry is just like, listen, come in around 10, do your shit, and then leave whenever. Like that's kind of what it's been. It's a great way to live your life, and you don't have to wear a tie. I like ties, but I don't have to wear them every day, which is great.
You just wear them when you feel like wearing a tie.
When I want to look sexy.
Ties do not
Wow.
look sexy. What the fuck? Ties are awful. They're the worst
Redban?
invention known to
When
man.
they're like this fat, they're terrible. But when they're like skinny and you look cool, which
That's not-
I can't do,
who
but
does that?
Rick
You
can
gotta
probably
wear 'em
do.
right.
Red Man,
Yeah.
what do you wear when
Red
you
Man.
want to
You call me
Red-
Red
I know,
Man.
I said Red
Yo,
Man.
what's up, Red Man? Yo, wanna go in the back smoke some blunts? You go back smoke some blunts?
Where's my shoe
You
heater?
know, spit some bars.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
What do
see?
you wear when you want to look sexy?
What do I wear? Not a tie. I show my chest hair when I want to be sexy.
yeah.
Because I want girls to know, hey, I'm a man.
Do you put on like a
I'm
do you
gonna
put,
treat you like
do you put like a
one.
deep V on and let it just kind of poke out? Like
No,
what's up?
I wear like a shirt where I'm wearing right now, but without a t-shirt underneath, and just 3 unbuttons, and I look like a fucking monster that will attack you, lady.
You're like, I have tentacles and I'm not afraid to use them.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Have you
Those
seen?
tentacles have penises.
Have you seen the tentacle? What's those? Plunger. They have a tentacle plunger now.
Please bring
Yeah.
that up as soon as humanly
Let me see if I can
possible.
Find it.
What?
It looks like an octopus tentacle. But
That
on
I
one
want
side
that in my
and the other
bathroom.
side.
I don't care.
What?
No price is too high for this.
Ooh. Is it on
Oh.
Amazon?
I will.
She already pulled it up.
I'll go to the bank and
Here it is.
you've never typed so fast in your life, have you?
No, I haven't.
It's I don't know why I call it a prank, but
Put my
it's,
glasses on, it's small.
right here it is.
I'm not seeing
See
it.
it?
Oh
Look
shit,
at
that is rad.
How can you pull that up and you don't want to pull up the Star Wars toy video?
Because I think that's just a game. It's not really a brain waver.
I
People in
think
the
it is.
Amazon reviews say it's bullshit. So. And it's only $40, and I doubt we have that technology for $40 where it's reading your brain waves to move things. It's,
Fine.
It's probably just face.
Why do you gotta ruin it
Facial
for me?
twitches.
Why?
Let's talk about the fact that I just realized that you're the star of Step Up 3D. That's crazy.
I
right?
said that at the beginning
I
of the show.
didn't realize that. That's cool.
By the way,
Welcome
He
to
was
the
sleep.
podcast.
Redban was sleeping at the beginning of the show.
I was at the beginning.
Yeah, I saw him a
had
little
a
drool
long
in his
day.
beard. So
I actually watched that movie because it was this 3D movie, and there was barely any 3D movies available, so I watched it. It's good.
Did you watch it at home?
Yeah. Here's a preview.
Welcome to my house.
Think of a house as like a super crew.
was this difficult?
Dancers work
did you
Yes,
together,
it was. I assume the shots are a lot harder to get because of the complexity.
It is, and also
Can you do the splits?
no, no. I had never done choreography in my life. I was just a break dancer, just free dance, whatever.
Right.
And so we went through a month and a half of 6 days a week, 10 hours a day, full on choreography training.
Wow.
And by the end of it, I got it, but
Were there other people in the cast that also had never worked with choreography before?
no.
Oh, so that was fun.
Yeah.
The-
And terrifying at the same time.
I like that you blushed
But-
as soon as I asked you about that.
No, it was very.
Now the guy with the curly hair is he's like a crazy internet video dude, right?
Oh yeah, Adam's awesome.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
I don't know his name, but I've seen that guy in some stuff, just doing some crazy video choreography things in the past.
Did you guys save the
he's an
community
amazing
center?
We did, which was actually our home. We lived in the community center, and
And you united by dance.
right.
Well, that guy just turned into smoke. That's pretty badass, though. No, I like dance movies. I like break dancing. I think I grew up with the cardboard box, my backyard refrigerator box. In the '80s, trying to dance on or do break dancing.
Did you
and
really try
Breaking
break
one?
dancing?
Oh, that's all.
Breaking two,
trust
Electric
me,
Boogaloo.
Trust me. In the early '80s, that's what you did as a child. You didn't have video games. You had breakdancing on cardboard boxes, watching Breaking the movie with ninja stars that you got out of Ninja magazine.
Yeah, that's how I started. From Electric Boogaloo,
Yeah.
from Breaking, and
I saw the most. I regularly search break-in clips, and those guys, Boogaloo Shrimp. I'm sorry, not. Never mind. But those guys rock my socks all the
Yeah.
time. You go back and you still watch the 2 stars of Breakin', and they have so many clips on the internet, and they're still so amazing.
See, I can't dance for shit except one of my close friends for being a 5'6", Irish kid is probably one of the best sea walkers I've ever seen in my life, and he's taught me a little bit of sea walking, which I'm really bad at.
What's sea walking?
Crip walking.
Crip walking.
Like gangster dancing, like straight up, like crazy. Just it's all footwork basically, like it's all leg work.
I grew up in the suburbs of Seattle, and I was really involved with theater.
Okay, so this is something that's so not on your radar.
No, crip walking actually started with they would spell out gang words.
Like with their feet, right?
Their feet.
Yeah.
And then people picked it up, and it became more mainstream, and started doing more elaborate stuff with it.
Yeah, it's like rubber ankle stuff. Like, it's kind of crazy.
And then you started from watching Breakin'.
I did, and then a bunch of my friends and we got on the internet, and we started like Googling moves and how to learn to do them. And we just, after school, we'd go in the auditorium, and we'd just bust out moves for hours. But yeah. Another nerdy thing.
It's awesome.
Did you guys ever see this? Alonzo from Fresh Prince, his break-in video from the 80s.
Yes.
Wow. Wow.
Here comes a fold-out breaking board.
Look at that breaking
Carry
board.
around to give you
I would have
huge
died for that breaking
65 by
board.
70
Oh,
space
shit, can you do that?
area Anywhere.
That's nuts.
Wow. See, the hand one's like I have carpal tunnel syndrome, so I look at that shit and I'm like terrified inside. I'm like, how is that even possible?
It's funny because I know Alfonso, and if I showed him this video, he'd be like, dude, turn it off.
Punch you in the face, just shove you.
He's got the Michael Jackson jacket on. I love it. That's great.
That's
He's
insane.
Did you guys have the Michael Jackson jacket? I had a fake one from Gold Circle, which is a store from the Midwest, but they had like a black version of it, and I had the fake black version of it.
Was it the inverse one where they still had the red accents, but it was like the inverse colors?
Right.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the black beat it jacket. I don't even, dude. I wonder if I can find a photo of it.
I apparently when I was like 5, I was a hit at weddings. My mom would take me to weddings, and I would just Michael Jackson dance
You do
all
the
night.
white man-
I can still
the
actually
white man two-step?
I can still actually Michael Jackson dance okay.
Yeah?
I don't ever do it unless I'm really drunk. But apparently when I was 5, I would steal a show, and then there's some lost footage somewhere of me like
Do the nut grab leg kick?
yeah, oh, dude, nut grab with the finger point with and it's like not even a nut grab. You mostly just take the crotch of your pants and yank them up as far as possible.
Right.
You know what I mean?
See, I think this could actually make a comeback. This is pretty slick, I think.
That's pretty awesome. I would
Yeah,
would
yeah.
wear
That's like a
that,
Final
for sure.
Fantasy jacket. There's lots of zippers.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's the beat it jacket black one. But yeah, I had the black version of it. I never had the red one.
Were you mad that you couldn't have the red one, or you're like, fuck, I want to get the legit one?
No, I chose the black one. I thought it looked better.
Like the off-color brand.
Yeah.
I just want to put on some ozone and turbo. There's the most amazing video with them with the real life names, which I can never remember. It's something shrimp and Boogaloo shrimp.
Boogaloo
Shrimp.
Boogaloo
And
shrimp.
there's the most amazing video of them when they were on French TV that I found when I was going deep on the YouTube. You can't go
Deep, real
I
deep
was
on the
going
YouTube.
deep.
Past like the ads where there's like these videos don't even the microphone thing. Past the ads where it's just a video. You don't even have to like wait through an interstitial anymore. That's when you know you're nowadays. That's how you know you're on the deep sides of like the back alley of YouTube when you don't have to watch an ad anymore.
Dude,
Oh, yeah.
what happened with Fukong? Like Fukong used to be my favorite website.
That's your favorite site.
It was my favorite website, and then I was on there. Let me see if it's still doing this, because it was doing this a month ago, and I go to recent, and it was like barely updating, if at all. Oh no, it finally updated, kinda.
What is it?
So back in the day, by back in the day I mean
It's
4
like
years ago, Fukong, and everything on the internet came from 4chan and Fukong, and basically any image or GIF that you saw was generated at the same time, and they would like appear on both of those websites. And I can't deal with 4chan because I'm a lady, and there's only so much like misogyny I can handle in a day. And so I went to Fukong because it's just straight up images, and I love the hashtags because they're hilarious. Even though I really don't understand why waffles suck.
Waffles don't suck. They're
it was
fantastic.
a hashtag for a really long time. Also fork. I guess they're updating again now. But
Fukong
was down for like a month and a half. I feel like
It was also kind of I didn't know about it until you told me about it, which is weird because I'm like was raised on the internet like literally, but it's also I feel like Fukong is somewhere between 4chan and Something Awful. Like the Something Awful forums, which is
Something
like
Awful
the
forums,
biggest
yeah.
forums I think in the world
Which
at
I
this
can't
point.
do.
They have
I
like
can't do.
hundreds of millions of posts at this point.
Yeah.
I'm actually a paying member just because I was
Really?
like, well, because if you're not a paying member, it's like you can't search for anything, and it's just kind of a nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, I randomly come up with stuff just by browsing on Google.
But well, the greatest thing Something Awful does is their Photoshop Fridays.
Really?
Where a lot of internet memes were born, where they'll find like a random photo and they'll make like awkward Star Trek photoshops where they'll take like Condoleezza Rice and make her a Worf character or something like that, and it was that kind of stuff, and so many memes came out of there.
I want to give a shout out to the secret show artist this week, Zach Morissette, who is doing wonderful nerd mashups. I tweeted earlier in the week, I tweeted his David Tennant 10th Doctor dressed as Han Solo, which rocked my socks, and then he did a wonderful piece.
Yeah, he did this. It was crazy. I saw this.
Yeah, this is from this week's Death Squad Secret Show, and it's Doctor Who inspired, and our faces are
coming out of the belly.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, it has the same hat that I'm wearing right now. Cool.
You're Link to the Past?
Yeah, Link to the Past.
Link to the Past. And so he also recently did another Doctor Who theme. He did the Ood Abides, which is like an image mashup between, obviously, The Big Lebowski and Doctor Who.
Yeah, you can find him at Zach Morissette on Twitter. Very awesome guy. We got to get him in the studio. He was really nice. Thanks for hooking that up, also.
That's great work.
It's a last-minute artist I needed.
I come through. I throw down, sort of, sometimes.
Bam. Sup? This
doesn't relate to anything at all, but I have been reading some comics this week. I've been reading a lot of different stuff this week. Friend of the show, Megan Hutchinson, brought me back a manga from Italy. So
that girl is a world traveler, by the way.
She's amazing.
She's always somewhere in the world.
Italy manga. Was it like
Italian manga?
Lasagna.
So it's manga, but it's Japanese. So I don't know if this book originates, because I haven't bothered to Google it. I don't know if it's a translation into Italian. I don't really know the deal. It's called. Actually, I'm sure it's Japanese translated into Italian. It's called Il Bruco in Italian. And it's by who can pronounce Japanese? You can.
Oh my god, I can't actually.
Nick Ahrens, come through.
Do
it.
That's terrible. I don't know. I can't speak. I've been in Japan countless times and I can't speak. I can't even say hello very well.
You've got the yellow fever.
I won't even try.
All right, Redban.
Are you going to color?
Let's see what you can do.
I actually started already.
You did?
Yeah, I've been secret. When people look away, I've been coloring in the book.
I've been looking at it.
Yeah.
Who are the one at top or this
I
one?
just need you to say the names of the people that have worked in this book.
Edoguard Ranpo. Shirahiro Mahuro.
That was pretty good.
Did I ever tell you my friend who's Japanese? I will sit there and just do what I think sounds like Japanese. Like I'll sit there and just like go, wow, you're pretty good
at that.
And she will sit there and be like, all right, you said toaster purple. Or she'll say, I like egg. Like, out of this nonsense, there's actually little things that I actually say.
Yeah, I used to... I used to have to like troll through translated Japanese interviews when I was a game journalist way back in when, and the only thing I ever picked up is that the Japanese word for when we're like is ano. We're like ano.
Hey.
Ano.
Hey.
Yeah. So that's all I picked up. I picked up... Yeah, well, see, you know more than I do.
Wakarimasu ka?
Ah. Okay, fine, then you get to say the name.
Yeah.
Those are the only two words I know.
So
I understand.
It's a wonderful book if you're into really filthy hentai, which I am. It also touches on another one of my favorite undercovered pornography subjects, which is amputees. So it's a really...
Wow.
So I actually didn't get into it until this weekend, because I was like, oh, Megan left... anyone that's been in my apartment knows that I have like racks for comic books. Like from the secret headquarters store, I have the racks that all my comic books are on, and well, some of them. And
one of them fell down.
It's you put it back up.
I did.
So manly. So manly. You use that drill.
Oh yeah. The DeWalt, baby, is a DeWalt.
So I found this and I started reading it, and I was like, oh, this is why you got it for me, because it's super graphic and it's like straight up like hentai anime. Amputee porn.
She got you amputee porn, and I got you a Super Nintendo. She won. Like, she totally won.
I think you guys are equal.
And then we got comic books.
Hey, instead of doing podcasts next week, let's just go to Tokyo. It's only $800 round trip.
Yeah, it's an 8-hour flight from here. Let's do it. I can show. I know all the good places. You go to Ueno. There's a toy store in a place called Ueno that's like 10 stories tall.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's the best thing ever. Yeah, it's so good.
Let's go next week.
We'll do Muff Said live from Japan.
Do you guys jailbreak?
No.
I don't, because I'm an iPhone developer, but I'm going to, when I get my iPhone 5, I'm going to jailbreak my 4S so I can turn it into a music controller from my house. Mm-hmm. And the problem with like the iPhone being like a remote is like if you want to change a song, you have to click the button, unlock the phone, and open the app. And there's like jailbreaks where you can like kind of remove all those steps. Where you hit the button, you can just start controlling it. But officially, no, I don't jailbreak.
So as you being okay, so we won't touch that.
No, we totally can touch it. It's
So
fine.
you don't because of why?
I don't because
It's not actually illegal, by the way.
You
They
guys-
ruled
It's not
it. They
illegal.
ruled it legal.
It's legal.
I don't know because I've know a lot of people that do it, and I don't have anything problem with it. I just know that there's a lot of times like there's a lot of hacks and a lot of programs that aren't meant that can fuck your phone up. Meaning like I know a guy that hacked it. His was working awesome. Now it takes like 20 minutes for him just to open up a text. You know, his phone's just jacked, and he can't really fix it unless he goes back and starts over from fresh. I don't know. To me, it seems like it's like, what do I need to do? What do I want to jailbreak my phone for? Like, what's the real reason that I want to do it? And it's not worth it to me. I'd rather be able to go into the Apple store if something's wrong, be like, yeah, something's wrong with my phone, and not have them be like, wait, this is hacked.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Well, then
or-
you just restore it before you go in.
Or if you can. I've had it where I've had an iPhone where it wouldn't even turn on.
I kind of
before,
feel like
and then they hooked it up.
I kind of feel like jailbreaking. Like a lot of people still do it, but it's kind of changing now because the biggest reason people used to jailbreak their phones was, especially on the iPhone, was their terrible notification system. Like every time you got a text, it was just in your face. You're playing a game, you get a text message, just fuck everything up. Right. And when they did their kind of like when they basically took the Google approach, where they made like the drop down menu, I think. For me, at least, my interest in jailbreaking kind of waned because the whole reason I really wanted to jailbreak was to like that annoyance.
Yeah. And it was to open up features that for some dumb reason Apple decided that we didn't need or shouldn't need yet. You know,
Or
but
AT&T.
nowadays,
Multitasking
Yeah,
and,
nowadays it seems like it's all been open for the most part. The only thing I could see if you wanted to just download a lot of apps for free instead of paying for them,
Which I don't support.
Which I don't support that either. But
Yeah.
I support the fact that if I'm on AT&T or these carriers who allow unlimited data, so to speak,
quote unquote,
Right.
quote unquote unlimited data, if I want to tether my phone to my computer,
right?
I should legally be able to do that with having unlimited data.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, if I firmly believe that you should be able to do this, that if I want to tether my computer or my iPad or whatever, because I have a Wi-Fi iPad, I want to use my phone's connection, I should be able to use that without AT&T saying, oh, wait a minute, you got to pay an extra $30. And on top of that, you got to pay $30 for a limited amount of data when you already pay for unlimited data.
Right.
So for me, jailbreaking is
Just
me.
for the teetering.
It's me saying, hey, I'm sorry, this is what I pay for. This is what I want to do with my phone. Don't limit me to doing that.
Right.
And then on top of that, there's also other features that Apple should have put on their phones that
what do
these
you-
people develop.
What do you like? Like, what's some?
I have a screen. I don't know if you can see it, but I have a pull down screen on my lock menu, so I don't have to unlock. I can text from my lock
Right,
screen if I
yeah.
want. It's convenient.
You're changing the interaction basically.
I have my mail here. I can check my mail if I want to check it before I even go in. I can check out Twitter. I can write to Twitter. I can do. There's so many different
without unlocking
features.
it.
Yeah, it was smart that they dealt with this issue because now like the Supreme Court ruled that it's not illegal because
Right.
Apple can't actually set a law. They can basically all they can say is like your warranty is void.
Right, and I understand the copyright laws and the these pirates, people that pirate applications for free, which I don't condone that, but I feel like you should be if I buy this phone outright, it's my phone. I should be able to do what I want with it. I shouldn't have to if I change something up on it. Sure, your warranty is voided or whatever. I get that, but I should be able to do whatever I want without some kind of legal issue. And for me to be able to hit a button on the top of my screen that disables Wi-Fi or enables Bluetooth or something that I don't have to go settings. Where's the setting for Bluetooth? Oh yeah, there it is. Then I got to go into this other setting and then hit that.
Oh,
I'd rather have it there for convenience than to have to go through all the trouble.
Right, and there's a lot of these hackers are actually these hackers that these companies are like we don't condone that end up hiring a lot of these companies.
They do.
So they buy them and they're like it actually creates features for the devices we all use every day. A lot of the device things that we see every day are based off of things that people were bought. Like Apple buys a lot of companies to bring in feature sets that they don't want to develop in house because these companies have a good idea, so they bring them in.
How come? So Microsoft used to do that back in the day, and still does do that.
They're having an identity crisis.
They're having a serious identity crisis. But when Microsoft did it, they were really seen as like the evil empire. In fact, they were like parodied on The Simpsons. You know, when like Homer started a website,
right?
And Apple does the same thing, and they just don't get the same press, and they don't get the same like backlash. Why do you think that is?
I think because they're still technically the minority. Microsoft for, you know, Apple's a very big mind share, especially with the iPhone. But when you think about computers, there's still like 90% of the computers in the world run Windows. So Apple's actual
I don't know anyone that runs Windows.
But like Apple's actual, all
a lot
the
of
PC
corporations
gamers, corporations, it's a lot cheaper. So you can't buy Macs in bulk and get like crazy deals when you can buy like a Dell computer. Buy 30,000 of them at once. Like literally, you want to fill out your new corporate headquarters, you got to buy 30,000 computers at once. You go to Dell, who's going to give you a crazy deal because they want the business, and then Dell goes to Microsoft, and they're like, "Hey, we're going to sell 30,000 computers. We need Windows at $5 a seat." And they're like, "All right, we'll do 5 times 30,000. That's fine."
But you also got to think that Microsoft technically is a software company.
Truth.
Apple's a hardware company at heart. I mean, they still have companies like Samsung making their displays and things like that. But then you have, if you want a Mac, you have to go buy a Mac. You can't.
You buy Apple hardware
unless you want to try to put together a Mac.
Hackintosh.
Yes. But for the most part, you have to buy a Mac straight from Apple.
We need to pause this conversation briefly because we still haven't talked about this week's beer.
Oh, we started to and we didn't finish.
We started to.
Okay.
This week's beer is Saison du Boeuf from Dogfish Head, which is one of my favorite breweries. I'm a big fan of their Bitches Brew. I'm a big fan of this beer, which, like I said, I do not feel is being shown properly because of the improper refrigeration. What do you guys think about this beer?
I will actually. You know what? I'm going to be completely honest. This is kind of a more bitter beer, which I normally don't like, but I actually like this a lot. I usually kind of go for just easy pilsners. I'm kind of a pussy when it comes to beer, but
you're going to be so mad about next week's beer, by the way,
which is already refrigerating. Yeah, I actually like it. I like it a lot, and I like the name Dogfish Head.
It's good. I like it. Besides, it's a little warm, but
a little warm.
I'm really sorry about that.
But no, that's Bevmo's.
That's Bevmo's exactly. That is Bevmo's problem, not ours.
That's why we're building
Bevmore
Bevmore
with Asian Swedish chicks.
So this beer is actually it's a collaboration. It's a collaboration between a couple of different breweries. Again, Dogfish Head. Their name is on the label, but it's also brewed with Stone and Victory Brewing, and they actually I believe that it's released 3 times a year, and each brewery brews their own at a different time from the same recipe that they all collaborated on. The reason that we're drinking this beer today is that you guys have talked a lot of shit about some admittedly poor beers that I've brought in that have experienced with what in the beer industry is called additives, which is not like barley malt, water.
So they weren't even technically beers, what we were drinking.
No, they were beers.
Like Zima.
No. So the way that a beer is brewed is that later on in the process, you can add things called additives that will enhance the flavor. It's like a secondary hopping or whatever. But in that area in the process, you can add things that will add certain notes. This beer, they have add parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme.
They just took it from the song. Let's be honest. They're just huge Garfunkel fans.
And it's one of my favorite beers. And like I said, I love saisons because I love, interesting yeast choices when it comes to beer. And I just love this beer, and I'm glad that you don't hate it.
I like it a lot. No, I like it a lot.
It's good.
I think it's good, yeah.
So it's but it's really expensive. So they don't even at Bevmo. They wouldn't sell me a 6-pack. They sold me each beer individually for $2.99 a bottle.
Wait, seriously?
What?
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah.
I've heard of that like in like 40s or like large pours
right.
if you want to like pour to cups, but I've never heard of that in like
format,
a 12 ounce bottle. That's really weird.
This is a really special beer, and whenever it goes on sale, I pretty much buy as much as I can fit in my bag.
This is fantastic. Yeah.
See?
I'm elevating.
See?
You're opening my
all
eyes.
beers.
You're opening my eyes.
I don't stray far from Shock Top.
Yeah,
I love Shock Top. It's really good.
Some orange in there.
Yeah.
And they just had the End of the World beer, the brew.
Yeah.
That's
really?
my favorite.
Like zombie beer?
The End of the World when it was, December.
Wait. Thunderdome beer?
Yes.
Oh my god.
The end of the world beer.
I have 2 talking points on the email that I forgot to send you guys this afternoon about zombies. World War
good
Z
transition.
Super Bowl teaser. I know. I was really excited. I have to admit, I haven't read World War Z because my copy was quote unquote borrowed before I finished it. But the Ultimate Zombie Survival Guide has definitely guided some of my adult life choices. But yeah, I'm not excited at all.
The coolest thing in that whole trailer is the zombie pile.
Yeah.
Where
You
they're
think
like,
that's cool? I'm just like, really?
no, that's the coolest thing in the trailer.
Right.
Is the zombie pile. Like,
But it's not a zombie pile. I thought that was a pile of humanity trying to escape.
No. That's
no, there's
the
zombies trying to get over a wall.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm mostly kind of the mind that like I love the idea, but zombies are kind of what they're getting as played out as vampires at this point. Where they're and the other thing too is they've done it so well in the past. So many movies have done zombies so well. 28 Days Later has done.
Right.
Like to me, that's probably my favorite zombie movie ever.
It's wonderful.
And they're like
wonderful.
they're like the adrenaline rage zombies. It's smart and it's scary and it's creepy and it's everything about that movie's fantastic. And now with the advent of like, I think The Walking Dead is probably what's keeping this going. Because The Walking Dead, I don't watch it, but I hear great things, so I'm not going to knock it.
I refuse to watch it because the comic books were so good.
The comics are amazing, but the story...
I hear the game is incredible. Some people are saying the game is one of the best like story-driven games out there.
But
But it's its
do you
own
feel
story.
like it should have won for the best game of the year? It's
Of
not
last year?
technically a game.
It's
How is it
an
not technically
it's an
a game?
interactive
It's an
experience.
interactive experience. It's more
Does
point...
that mean I would like it?
It's point and click.
Yes. If you play it on your iPad, which you're not using, it's a point and
To
click
an
extent, yeah.
point and click adventure. I don't think it should have been the best game of last year.
The story's amazing.
Can I play it on my MacBook?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
No, wait.
It might be on like Steam or something.
It
like
should
that.
be. You can play it on iPad or
I don't go
whatnot.
to Steam because I have a Mac, and nothing on Steam plays
This is
on
a great
Mac.
reason. This is a great reason to fire
is
that
true.
iPad right back up.
That is
I'm
true.
just saying.
You understand that I
understand.
You understand why I can't play the iPad.
You can play the iPad.
But you know what's...
Do you want to put parental
No, I've cut myself
software on
off
there?
because I get really addicted to the resource management games, and I had so many different ones going on my iPad that it was about 2.5 hours.
This is actually true. I'd try to hang out with her, and she'd just be sitting on her iPad, and I'd be like, "All right, I guess I'll text somebody."
You know what's crazy though? If you put Windows on your Mac from Boot Camp, you can play games a hell of a lot better than you would play it on a Mac.
Yeah, that's true. And the Mac laptops are actually pretty good at running games.
I have the Retina displayed Mac, and it's the best. It's the best computer
After
on
this
the Windows
podcast,
side
I'm
to
going
play
to let
games.
YouTube hit my Mac out for playing games because I want to make that so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can get viruses through the back door of your Mac and ruin your hard drive. Too.
Sounds like a Saturday night.
Or you can just get Steam and download some Portal 2 and just be happy.
Oh, by the way, did you see the announcement today?
We can't move to Portal until I talk about Warm Bodies.
Okay, all right.
We can segue.
Loved it.
After really.
Yeah,
Why did you love Warm Bodies?
I haven't seen it
I
yet.
just thought it was different and entertaining. I didn't think it was a great movie, but I was entertained.
I was fully 100% entertained, but I was not impressed because it was Beauty and the Beast plus Romeo and Juliet.
I read the Romeo and Juliet scene, and not only his name was R.
His name's R, and her name's
And
Julie.
her name's Julie.
And it's full on Beauty and the Beast because in the end he transforms into a handsome prince after
Right.
being a monster.
Spoiler
Sorry,
alert.
spoiler alert.
You fucked up. So
So, was it? But
But
like,
it was entertaining. It was.
was
And,
the zombie stuff fun, or was that almost?
it's
I just
funny
was-
and
I was
entertaining.
disappointed
That's
in
it.
Rob Corddry.
Yeah.
That's where he's been.
You know what? Okay, I don't want to get too into it because a lot of people
Spoiler
probably haven't
alert.
seen it.
How have
But-
they not seen it? It was one of the biggest opening week. It was the biggest movie last weekend.
Because I like the
Which
taste
is-
of pussy.
Which is really weird because I went to see it on Saturday.
I saw Life of Pi
I went to see it on Saturday, and there were maybe 12 people in the theater.
in L.A.
Lisa and I went to see it, and there was in L.A.
Because that's crazy. Because you can go see the shittiest movie in L.A. and there's still like half a theater. That's kind of crazy.
I just didn't even want to see this movie. I saw the preview and it looked like a movie I would definitely see on Netflix.
Okay,
maybe, but
I'm going to
no desire
revise
to go
it.
to the theater.
It's Romeo and Juliet plus Beauty and the Beast plus Twilight for zombies.
Yeah.
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 But it was entertaining. I have to agree with you. Like, I enjoyed my popcorn. I sat through the whole thing. I got some giggles. I got some aw.
Some aw.
Aw. And, I mean, there was a montage, so...
Yeah.
It really...
You ought to have a montage.
But Rob
there wasn't montages until 36 Chambers of
You're gonna
Song.
have a montage. Sorry. Montage.
Sup.
I saw Life of Pi this weekend, which was probably visually one of the most insane like 3D experiences I've ever had.
Yeah?
Yeah. I would say it goes in the order of, now for me, How to Train Your Dragon in 3D movies.
Oh, I love How to Train Your Dragon.
Best 3D movie
So
I've ever
good.
seen.
So
Saw
good.
that in 3D. We loved it.
DreamWorks' best movie they've ever made, animation-wise, even though I love Ice Age. And then I would say, actually, Life of Pi is probably number 2 for my 3D pick, because of some of the shit that they pulled off was insane. And it's not CG. Like, the CG movies in 3D always look so much better because they don't have to, like, kind of rotoscope the, like, layers, you know what I mean?
Right.
You kind of see that, like, layer effect. And then I'm going to put Avatars number 3 just because it's like a tech demo. It's a tech demo.
I mean, yeah. It's
an okay movie. It's a great 3D
They
experience.
pioneered our 3D
Right.
development for mainstream, yeah.
It is kind of funny, though. You see the cameras. I don't know if you've ever seen a picture of the camera they shot it on. It looks like this. It's like the size of a Volkswagen. But then, like, a year later, they already have 3D cameras that are like the size of an iPhone. So James Cameron's like, I got my pioneering 3D technology. And then the guys who shot the...
He can afford it.
Oh, of course. Oh, listen, I love Cameron. I love Cameron. But it's just, that's how crazy the technology moves. Is like, a year later, they're like, yeah, we got it down to a little JVC handcorder, so we're good.
Right, yeah. I mean, everything that he shot, he could see it in 3D right there.
Yeah, he watched it live in 3D.
Low polys, but
Yeah.
I mean, not like full-on 3D animation,
Yeah,
but you could tell exactly what he wanted to see and what he was getting at with the 3D. So
It's weird, though, because I just still don't think 3D is going to ever catch on fully mainstream. Because
You don't think it's going to catch on ever fully mainstream, and yet all of the biggest, most mainstream movies are all coming out in 3D.
some of them are.
But nobody goes to see him.
But right, I still
I could've
choose...
seen 'em.
I saw Lord of the Rings, the 48. We talked about this, the 48 3D. But I loved the 48, but I kind of wish I had seen it in flat, too.
See, I haven't seen the movie yet.
Whenever I see the 3D movie, I'm kind of like, well, what would this look like flat? Like, I'm still questioning, like, is this better without the glasses?
Right.
So that's kind of the thing with 3D is, I think right now is like a culture we're kind of like, we still have to get around the idea of it. Like, it's still like well, it's a good movie, but it was
It's
3D.
going to be good when we get the 3D that we don't have the glasses for, which is just a few years up there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then I'm all in.
It's the putting shit on our face. Like, what is it? It's why
Especially
Google
when you wear glasses already.
And then that's when we take our own eyes and we swap them out for the cyborg eyes.
Exactly.
Because our eyes are going to go bad from watching shit in 3D.
All I can think about is that scene with Jude Law and was that AI where he's like the robot hooker.
Oh yeah. That movie I wanted to be good so bad.
So
I wanted that
badly.
movie, and it's not.
It had
It's
so much
boring.
potential.
What was the name of that movie?
AI.
AI.
I still liked it.
Yeah.
It was written for Kubrick to direct, but he died, and so Spielberg directed it. And because Spielberg is not Kubrick, like
Right.
Spielberg's
He doesn't
arguably
have that like kink.
yeah, well, Spielberg's arguably the best director ever because he's
That's right.
directed the biggest movies like ever.
What was
But-
that? What was that movie with Jude Law where he was? Am I thinking? Is this the one where he's on the island? They find the island and he finds out that he's.
Was it
AI.
that called The Island?
No, that's Leo.
Oh,
That's where
yeah.
he played a robot.
Right, that's what I thought you were talking about. But
Not Blade Runner.
No, that is AI. Where you were like,
is it AI?
no, maybe not.
He's a robot in AI too, but he
iRobot.
knows.
I-
But he
iRobot.
meets that.
No,
chick
iRobot's Will Smith.
No, what's no?
Oh, you're thinking The Island, right? No, that's
No. He is thinking of AI. AI
Is it AI?
AI is the one with the little or
yeah, the
Haley
little
Joel
boy.
Osment.
Yeah.
yeah, and then he runs away and he hangs out with Jude Law.
Yeah.
No,
the
the family
robot
kicks him out.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
drop him in the red light
Yeah.
district of all places.
Okay, so that is the same movie.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know.
Okay,
I was,
yeah.
I was
I
trying
like
to
that
remember.
movie. I like that.
Well, then when we start talking about it too, because Jude Law's been in so many weird kind of like sci-fi movies at this point,
Yeah.
so I kind of all start to blend together in my head. Like, I think AI was visually just beautiful, but like knowing that it was for Kubrick, I'm like, what could have this been? This could have been something insane,
Yeah.
just like the craziest Kubrick movie ever. Imagine, like, because Kubrick never really got to work with CG, so imagine Kubrick working with like.
My brain cannot process that thought. That's too exciting.
Settle down.
It's true. What else is on my talk about list? We've got 2 more things. Zynga had a stock price jump today.
That's
really
weird. That's weird.
Yeah, they had like a pretty big jump based on, which was surprising because they only had listed a minor profit for this quarter.
Who?
Zynga.
What's that?
They make like all the
Everything?
With Friends games, like
Farmville?
Farmville, Words with Friends,
Yeah.
Drawing with Friends,
Social
whatever that shit
gaming.
is, yeah.
They're just like a behemoth.
Yeah.
And then you at Super Bowl, if I remember correctly, which new PS3,
PS4.
PS4.
They're announcing. Well, we don't know yet, but they have some kind of announcement on the 20th that
Does that give you a
guessing-
fizzy feeling in the base of your penis,
A
as
little
James
bit.
May would say?
a little bit. Although I'm waiting to hear what the
Permission to say
Xbox.
cock.
I want to hear what the Xbox is going to do as well because
So
I'm kind of an Xbox fanboy.
yeah, I'm on the Xbox side too, and if the gaming generations go how they've basically been going, you had Nintendo for 2 generations, then you had Sony for 2 generations, and now Xbox is technically on their first generation with the 360 because the PlayStation 2 was so successful.
Mm-hmm.
So if it keeps going the same way it went, then we should see Microsoft for another generation, and I think the Xbox brand is their smartest part of the whole corporation.
I don't see Sony. I think Sony's been making a lot of bad decisions lately.
I agree.
And like with the move and everything like that, I just don't see them turning this shit around. This round. I think Xbox is going to.
The one interesting thing about the PlayStation 4 is Sony bought Gaikai, which is a streaming kind of like on live gaming service, but Gaikai, unlike on live, actually kind of works. So it'll be interesting. You can pretty much expect that PlayStation 4 is going to launch with on-demand cloud gaming, where you don't have to download the game. You buy the game, you start playing it
That's
instantly.
not that exciting to me anymore with fast internet. I mean,
Yeah.
when I'm just going to download a game, it's going to take me 20 minutes. I don't give a
Right.
shit.
No, I totally
Yeah.
agree, and I
No.
think Sony, this is me now speaking in game industry talk, but Sony's got a kind of an uphill battle right now in front of them because the PlayStation 3 was kind of really tough for developers to develop for, like just technically. It looks really good, and the first party guys who got to just focus on it, they made some of the most visually stunning games of the whole generation. But when it came to the third party guys like Ubisoft and EA and Activision, PlayStation 3 was almost basically the bastard child of the two, because it was the Xbox development is essentially PC development, which is what developers know. They just know it. It's like in their blood to do it that way.
Yeah.
So it's just easier, it's faster, and Microsoft is so good at getting exclusives. They always had the first downloadable content for Call of Duty, for Grand Theft Auto, for Skyrim, for all the big games that people really care about. Microsoft's always there saying it's on our console first.
And they always had the better version. For the most part, the most of its lifespan, it was always like, oh, the PS3 is having frame rate problems compared to the Xbox version.
Yeah.
It's not really that much anymore. It's pretty much even now. But
when it first came out,
it was
though,
a long
some
time,
problems.
though.
Yeah, and Kaz Hirai, he's now the president of Sony, but he used to be the president of Sony Entertainment or Interactive Entertainment. He actually, in Japan, I was actually at the press conference when I was a journalist, apologized for PlayStation development. So they have kind of a stigma of this generation to get past. They weren't bad.
Well,
the
they just
PlayStation wasn't bad.
They made a mistake of them. I mean, look at the PlayStation Vita.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a huge hit for PlayStation because they thought that this was going to be the next big portable thing, and no one's developing for it. If people were like, okay, let's make games for it, I think more people would be likely to buy it.
Yeah.
But no one's making games for it
I haven't
besides
touched mine
Sony.
since I opened it.
Yeah, I mean, I barely
'cause you have your
when I
phone.
travel.
You have your
I mean, I
iPad.
play it when I travel, but that's about it. And then there's only maybe 2 or 3 games that I have that I really dig for the portable system. But somebody mentioned something today about Microsoft and the new console that they're trying to do an anti-used game format.
Well, Sony actually patented technology for that already, for the PlayStation 4 as well.
So, but nobody's really clarified if Sony's going to use it or not. But Microsoft, they're saying that they are, and basically anybody who, like you were saying earlier today, trades games in, people can't buy those anymore.
Right.
Because there's some kind of way that they're going to track it. Maybe it's connected to your console's MAC address or whatever.
If you paid for it, it should be yours to resell.
Like I said earlier.
Yeah, it comes back to the whole concept of ownership.
But then these game companies they're the ones who are, upset about it because they're not getting any profit off of. They sell a game, $50. Yeah, you go out, you go to GameStop, you sell your game back for
$4.
And they turn around and sell it for 25, 30.
Right.
And none of these companies are seeing any kind of residuals from that. So I get it.
Okay, but the whole argument about residuals, like, you really got to get over it. It just comes back to, like, being a model. You know, you do a job, you get paid the one time, and that's it. And whether or not it gets resold 8 million times, you have no control over it. That's the world that we live in today, because we don't have the ability to track the resale of content like we used to be able to, because there's so many new mediums.
Unless you're in a union.
The
SAG or whatever.
The problem with games is that the console industry is not moving forward as fast as the other industries in the gaming and like in the whole global industry, because I understand the issue. Like, you don't want somebody to sell your game to GameStop and then they buy another used game and you don't see any more money. But the one thing that happens, one, is people will sell 2 games at GameStop and buy a brand new game using some of the money that they have. So sometimes it will translate. The other thing, too, is that the console game industry is resting on its laurels, and it's been doing this for a long time. And it's hard now. You see, like, THQ going under; they just completely went under and it sell all their assets off,
which makes me so sad.
It's very sad, but it's the problem is we, as a game industry, we saw, like, holy shit, this is working. Let's just do this. And that's what happened with console games, is they only just did that, and they've been doing the same thing for 20 years now. Longer, 25 years, and there was no innovation. There was no, like, forward thinking, and the mobile industry popped up, and games started coming out for free, and they monetized through ads, and they monetized through in-app purchases, and the console industry didn't do any of this. So the console industry, the publishers, they're desperate. They're like, well, we can't have used games anymore. But what the mistake that they're making is they're not pursuing alternative methods of monetizing these titles. Mm-hmm. So I think...
What do you think the alternative methods of monetizing a title would be?
Right now, it's things like in-app purchases and ad networks and things like that. That's what's making gangbusters.
Pay for
microtransactions.
Pay for nudity.
Pay for nudity.
Can you
pay to
imagine
take
that?
the top off. But I think what's safe to assume is that the infrastructure for games, like when you download a game like Farmville. Farmville's free to play, but when you want to go faster, you want to play better, you have to pay afterwards.
Paying as an addict of Farmville style
resource management,
smart management games.
People will pay. So
Absolutely.
I think it's safe to assume the PlayStation and the Xbox 360 will have these infrastructures built in for these kind of games.
But then you have companies like EA who are putting out Dead Space 3 and Day One DLC that are these, and as well as microtransactions in the game to help you get further in the game. But all these gamers are complaining because here they're spending $60 on a game where in Day One DLC you should already have this stuff in the game for them.
I totally concur.
You should have this stuff ready and available for you to. If I pay $60 for a game, I want whatever you're putting out on that disc.
EA is pretty much the only company that does this.
Yeah.
Even Activision doesn't really do this.
Capcom did the same thing.
Oh, with their fighting games, didn't they?
Capcom with their fighting games, they put
and
all
the characters
these
were on the
DLCs
disc, by the
already
way.
on the disc when the game came out, but you had to wait 8 months before you could get the 12 extra characters that are already on the disc, and then you pay $15 for it.
By the way, the way to know this is if you get a new game and there's DLC available, if the DLC is under a megabyte, it's like 800 kilobytes. Like you see the size,
you know it's already
on the disc, and you're basically paying for content you already paid for.
Yep. Which sucks.
Okay, it does suck, but we have to understand that we are going through a growth period, and where providers are currently dealing with the best way to offer content and the best way to include add-ons. Like this is a brand new marketplace, and there's going to be a lot of trial and error.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
like it may be really shitty, and you may want to like flame a forum about it, but this has to happen in order for whatever's next to
figure out
happen.
what.
We are in a really. It's like, you know, we're almost going through the withdrawal, and we need to like get off the drugs and figure out what's next. But we need to go through the withdrawal first. We have to get through this period to figure out what's next. And in this next generation, both with mobile becoming handheld at this point. I mean, I think the handheld industry is dead after this generation at this point. And I think with mobile and then with the consoles and the consoles.
Kevin Spacey did talk about, as far as I've gotten House of Cards, he did play with a PlayStation Vita and
Product placement.
Yeah.
But
By the way, House of Cards, I talked about being excited about it last week.
Is it good? I didn't start.
I've watched 5 episodes. I really like it.
Yeah.
I really, really like it, but I go into any entertainment with no expectations.
Except the Kevin Spacey angle, which he's usually pretty awesome.
Kevin Spacey and David Fincher.
Right. But he only directed the first 3.
Yeah.
But I mean, come on, it's David Fincher doing.
Yeah. But he wants to do more.
That's awesome.
I'm really into it. I very much enjoy it. It's going to be slightly. It's going to feel fresh, and whoever plays that Congressman Russo. Cat noise.
I'll do it for you.
I haven't seen the show yet. I want to watch it.
It's on Netflix. All 13 episodes are available right now. I watched 5 this weekend. It came out last Thursday. That's a solid run. It grabbed my attention and held it for that long. Anyway,
awesome.
back to like PlayStations and stuff.
It's what I wanted to add to what you were saying about mobile gaming and Gabe Newell said it best. He said, the Steam box is coming out,
right?
And I feel like I love Xbox, I love console gaming, but I feel like we are bringing back PC gaming.
It's
going
making
to
it
come
slow,
back with
but
a force.
Certain comeback.
But Gabe Newell said that he's not worried about the console generation. He's not worried about Xbox or Microsoft. He's worried about Apple because Apple is going to come out with something. I know.
I hope they come out with a gaming machine. If they just turn around,
I feel like they're going to.
I agree with that.
If I had to predict it though, they're not going to come out with a new console. What they're going to do is they're going to fix their AirPlay. They're going to come out with an accessory. You clip your phone and do it, and that's your console.
Yep.
They won't come out with a dedicated box. That's not how they work.
Agree.
Tie into last week. I need a high five.
Or they're going to have
that'll be the future.
Or they're going to have a full on their TV system. Like they're going to have the TV where they're actually making the TV. It's going to have apps in it, and they're going to have you have a computer, and it's going to have the app store that has the games in it. You know what? Like if you right now, there's an app store on your Mac,
right?
And
on your iPhone, on your iPad. Yep,
you can buy games, but it's like Call of Duty 3 instead of
it's
whatever.
old.
They're going to have that built into the TV,
right?
Like because there already is rumors
TV.
that they're already making the actual TV units.
It's funny too because everyone's talking about what Apple will do with the TV and like the technology, and like I think if Apple makes TV, they'll do something cool and there'll be some cool software with it. But what I really want is that Apple IPS Retina display in my living room. That's what I really care about. I want to look at that and get so close that I'm like just drooling all over it. That's what I really want.
It's going to be an iMac, right?
Yeah, giant iMac.
Yeah. Touch screen.
They need to get back into making webcams. I always thought it was weird that when they got the webcams,
iSight,
the iSight built in, they got rid of the iSight camera, which was such a beautiful piece of technology.
It was really cool. It looked, you know what it looked like? It looked like a scaled down professional camera. Is what it looked like. It looked like the lens to like a DSLR. Whereas like all the other webcams out there, like the one that's going on right there, they look like they're like these little like. Some Fisher Price toys you buy at like a Toys R Us or something like that.
I guess it was made out of like blood diamond though or something like that. like the materials that were in that actual camera.
As a caviar
really
eater, that just makes me want it more.
Yeah.
Although
this webcam is opulent.
The in-monitor webcams that they have are better than 99% of the other products that are out right now. I mean, you go and buy one of these high-end Microsoft webcams, and it's shit quality compared to what's in my MacBook Pro Retina display.
Yeah, it's funny too because like you mix that MacBook iSight with Skype, which is the only real way to actually video chat. Like Google works okay.
Fuck GChat.
GChat, but like FaceTime.
Seriously, I was seeing someone long distance while I was in France, and GChat failed me. I was trying to show my junk in a private way across the internet, and Skype was the way to go. And then Skype failed me, and I had to go FaceTime on my MacBook.
I Skyped you a few times while you were in France, and it was perfect.
No, we didn't Skype. We FaceTimed.
No, we didn't. We Skyped.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
FaceTime
Absolutely.
never works. They need to fix
the problem
that.
with FaceTime is that you never know when you can use it. Like, FaceTime, you I guess when you're home and on your Wi-Fi, and I'm home and on my Wi-Fi.
Unless you jailbreak.
Unless you jailbreak.
Yeah, but it should tell you if it's online instead of just sitting there ringing for 20 minutes, and then you're like, oh, she's not available.
But Skype,
it does. If you're unavailable, it usually says this person is unavailable.
That's what I thought, but it seems like like I was every time I do it, it's like I tried to call you FaceTime, and they're like, oh no, I've been out all day.
But like Skype is available on every platform possible, more than any other service out there. I mean, you can get Skype on your home phones. It's free. It's easy to use, and their quality, like their compression quality, is really good.
Yeah,
it's really good. Like when you video chat with somebody, I've done it for work countless times and on TVs, and it looks fantastic.
Yeah. Now that I'm working in casting, actually, we do Skype interviews with pretty much everyone.
Time.
Well, and Pereira's show, Kevin Pereira's show, Let's Ask America.
What does that mean, Ryan Redban?
Well, I just how many of my friends like, I had audition today here, and then I had to drive all the way over here, and then drive all the way over here, and I'm like, why haven't they been doing Skype auditions this whole time? And then I've been saying it for 5 years. Why don't they just do it on the computer? Now they're just finally doing it. Right?
But there's a big difference being in the room with someone.
Right.
And, I mean, I understand with reality TV, it's kind of...
Well, it's with Nationwide.
Right, okay. So, but...
Yeah. So, it's very specific, and it's wonderful because even everyone can get Skype on their computer, and they can, it's intuitive, and it's all about intuitive. No matter what you're doing on the internet, or actually anywhere in life, it's all about intuitive design. And I think that Skype's did a really wonderful job of it.
It's Microsoft's best purchase in the last 10 years. To buy them, and then the best part about Microsoft buying Skype, they haven't done it hasn't changed at all.
Yeah,
it's still exactly the same.
I love that. I love a product that isn't constantly changing. That will something that's constantly changing in a way that changes my experience and changes the way that I've been trained to use a product. It's the fastest thing that will get me to stop using it.
And it's got the best sound effects in computer software.
Kind of like how everybody stopped using Final Cut when it became
Final Cut X.
Oh, pisses me so off. Yeah. I just stopped editing. I didn't just stop using Final Cut. I just stopped making movies. Like I used to. That's all I did all day long. I was like, fuck this. I'm not going back to it.
Everybody was like, Adobe?
Yeah.
Right?
And now Adobe's like, hey, more money for us. Yeah. By the way, big thing, all the pirators out there, Adobe finally is giving Photoshop away for free. You can get like CS2, which is like 3 versions behind.
Why haven't they been using GIMP?
Because GIMP is
open source.
is fine, but
it's good for the basics.
It's okay.
It's no Photoshop.
It's not exactly the most intuitive program, but as soon as you start using Photoshop, it's 1,000 times better. And so CS2, the whole Creative Suite, all of them, Illustrator, Photoshop, is completely free. Oh, wow. Use on the internet. Like they're giving out the keys. They're like, you know what? We're tired of piracy. Fuck it. Just here. It's an older version, but
it's still great. I mean, I remember using CS2. It was
90% of the people out there probably don't know how to use the really advanced features anyway. So if you want to make graphics for the web and edit your photos and all that kind of stuff, levels,
and I'm sure it's a good way for them to use it for a few years, and then Adobe to cut off this update. We're not updating this anymore for CS2.
Well, they stopped updating a long time ago.
Well,
already.
I mean, where it might not actually stop working.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they might get a taste of it for a year,
yeah,
and then it might just
But it's that's the Photoshop's I think the most pirated software ever, of all time. So it's and it's funny because people are like, oh, I want to edit my photos. I'm going to steal Photoshop. So you're going to edit your iPhone photos that you took at Cancun with Photoshop?
Yeah.
Why? You don't need it.
And maybe 10% of how to use it.
5. You know what I mean? I've been using Photoshop since version 2 when I was a kid, and I still only use 50% of it. Yeah. So.
And then there's the Creative Cloud, which is totally affordable.
It's totally affordable.
I mean, if you want to use every app and it's updated to CS6, you can pay what, $29 a month?
Yeah, and they have SpeedGrade in there, and SpeedGrade is a high-end film color correction app. I mean, it's they're actually really finally making it accessible after 30 years of business.
Yeah.
It's a good idea because up to recently I never bought any of my products, but now it's that alone was worth it. The subscription based,
right?
If you like it, pay for it because it's worth it.
Support it.
Yeah.
Nobody. Do we have anything else this week? I really have to go pee, so
I kind of do too.
We need to get a toilet camera so bad.
I realized I really had to go pee, and I was trolling your wife's Twitter.
Awesome.
She's at Lisa Malambri on the Twitter. I am at Ryan Keely. That's RyanKeely. Come and play. Come back next week at 8:30 Pacific Standard Time on a Wednesday, which is new and fresh.
It's weird.
Nick
Ahrens, robot pants on everything.
And at Rick Malambri.
Thank you so much for joining us. And of course, this would not be possible without Brian Redban.
I'll be in Fort Lauderdale Friday, Saturday, improv. Tickets are on sale at improv.com.
Woohoo!
Oh, and check out the Death Squad Secret Show every Monday at the Comedy Store. And that artwork we showed earlier is going to be on sale very soon. And you can find all that at deathsquad.tv. Tickets are free, though, if you want to go Monday at 8 p.m. at the Comedy Store.
Muff Said.
Muff Said.